Hello, and welcome to the Otaku Clubhouse. And this is Sink or Swim. What is Sink or Swim? Well, it's where we discuss anime, video games, movies, and just about whatever media catches our eye. Then give our first impressions of them. From top to bottom, we give our ratings of a swim, a tread, a float, a drowning, and at worst, a sink. Comments are always welcome, and of course, we're waiting to hear what you have to say too. Let's get into it.
We just finished the first episode of the anime known as Tatoeba Rasuto Danjon Mai no Mura no Shōnen ga Joban no Machi de Kurasu Youna Monogatari, and in English is known as Suppose a child from the last dungeon, Boonies moved to a starter town, and it's fucking boring.
And in real English, it's this anime fucking put me to sleep.
Oh my gosh, we were talking about something before that was boring. This may have been probably the most boring anime I've seen all season.
But hey, it was produced by Universal Studios. Whoa.
Alright. Do you two actually remember anything from it?
Yes, I wrote notes for a reason.
I didn't write notes because I was too bored to. But I do remember things from it that I didn't like. It has sort of the same joke as One Punch Man, which I don't like.
No.
But it doesn't have like the charms of like side characters that One Punch Man has.
This is not the same joke as One Punch Man, in my opinion. In my opinion, this is not funny at all. It's a like they're trying to build this as like a comedy series, but it's not funny. It's not funny. It's fucking not funny. I don't get it.
It really isn't. There is nothing that can fail a series more than at least a comedy than it not being funny. When it comes to other series, like when it comes to action series and the action isn't great, sometimes you can have other things that pull it up, like maybe the characters or maybe, I don't know, the world itself. But when your key point of a series is the comedy, because it's a comedy, and the comedy just falls fucking flat every single fucking time, you got nothing.
Comedy in anime especially is sort of like hit or miss, and there's a cultural barrier. But like this, it's like cookie cutter shit, but like the cookie cutter's made out of fucking rusty barbed wire or something, man. It's just boring. They have jokes, I say that with heavy quotations, that are just formulaic. Oh yeah, that sure is funny.
Wahaha.
It's like some like 70-year-old businessman was like, oh yeah, you know what? You know what's funny? Fantasy shows with overpowered main characters. Isn't that wacky and cool?
Whoa, this kid is so strong. Whoa, he's so strong. What stance is that? I can tell that he's gonna kill me just by looking at me. Haha, I'm here for the chef job. Whoa, that's so fucking funny.
So, the animation company behind this is Linden Films. You guys better get ready for this fucking catalog of things that they had. They worked on Terraform Mars.
Better than this.
They also weirdly worked on Blade of the Immortal, which we
Way
all like that.
This. What the fuck? Why did you get tied up in this trash?
They also had a hand in the recent Berserk anime.
Arguably a better comedy than this.
for entirely different reasons. My point is the fact that this company doesn't have like a bad track record. Well, a horrible track. Well, they don't have a consistently horrible track record.
Pretty hit and miss, I guess.
And this just in every way has nothing going on for it. It doesn't even look particularly great. Like there are two characters in here who their designs almost feel like if they were in like a JRPG, right? They would be kind of interesting. The one girl with the weird belts, the belt princess or whatever they call her, and then the other girl with the metal arm. Those two look like if they were in a JRPG, they would be characters you'd like to have in your party or something.
As a matter of fact, the girl with the metal arm basically is a character from Third Ocean 5. Very similar.
Yeah.
So
There's nothing for this show. I'm honestly struggling to talk about it at this point, because the main character's name is Lloyd.
And he literally looks like Link. So it's just like, is this on purpose? This gotta be on purpose. Like, just ape off of RPGs and video games and shit.
He specifically looks like the Breath of the Wild Link.
Specifically, yeah.
And there's admittedly a running part of it that got a little bit of a... not a laugh. Have you ever, like, almost laughed at something? Like, you don't even chuckle at it, but you're like, you almost laugh at it?
A little internal laugh?
I wouldn't even say it was an internal laugh. It was more like a, huh.
Like,
there's this
that's
running
funny.
piece.
Or
like you acknowledge that, yes, that is in fact comedy.
Yeah, every time one of the two of you makes jokes.
Hey, shut your bitch ass up.
There's this running joke that seems to be used in the first episode, which it seems like it's going to be a continuous one, where Lloyd is just standing around and there's like a grasshopper, and the grasshopper is a giant monster that attacks him, and he just like bats it away. And the way that they bat it away is very funny, because, you know, it literally, like, he bats it away, and it's like, he literally treats it like it's nothing. It's not, it's given zero ceremony.
Yeah.
And that should be funny. Should be. It's not.
Yeah, maybe if it was done by somebody who actually had, you know, some sort of comedic or artistic talent.
Yeah. And then the story, like, the first episode, I feel like it was a badly paced first episode, because I had no idea what was going on. The episode starts with all the characters just sitting around, and they're talking about, like, how they failed out some kid out of the academy, and this kid is, like, really trash and stuff like that. Then these two other characters are like, oh, well, we have to track down Master Lloyd. He's so great and powerful and handsome and mighty. And then people are still shit-talking this kid, and then they're like, oh, wait, this kid's actually really impressive because he's writing in ancient ruins that have never been talked about before. Meanwhile, Lloyd is just walking around the town like, oh man, I failed out of the academy, but I can't go home, so I'll just get a job. They meet up with Lloyd, and then they're like, oh, is that... I can't believe it! And the guy who's running the store is like, oh, do you know that kid? And they're like, nope, don't know him. I'm sorry? I was just so confused throughout it. And, like, I was paying attention. I don't fucking get what was happening.
And that really says something, because, you know, I have a penchant to wander off when something's, like, not completely holding my attention in terms of an anime, but Akuma's pretty focused on details in anime, and even he was thrown for a loop with the way that the show was paced and had things explained. It's a mess. It's really like a mess of a show. It doesn't know what it's trying to do. It's trying to do so many... Well, I wouldn't even say it's trying to do a lot of things. It's trying to do like 2 things, and it's fucking dropping both of them. I don't get it.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. They got to a point where they were like explaining how the system of their town works and how the military works, which felt like it was totally out of nowhere. Then the girl was fighting some guy, and the guy was like, oh, well, I'll just fight this kid, and Lloyd was gonna punch him and fucking, like, destroy him, but then, like, a witch who is friends with Lloyd, but not friends with the belt princess girl, came to rescue Lloyd, and I just don't fucking know, man. I really have no idea. I have no idea what this fucking show is aiming for at all. This honestly might be the most confusing anime of the season, just based on pacing.
I think it is an attempt at comedy. I think that they're trying to be funny, but it's just not working out for them. They're just not funny people. They don't have funny delivery, and I don't think it's going to be like a big sort of plot-heavy show from what we've seen from the first episode.
I also mentioned the fact that it felt kind of like a mid-2000s light novel, in the sense that around that time there was a lot of trashy light novels, like Familiar of Zero and stuff like that. So this one just feels like it's pure trash. Like, I hate to say it like this, but it just feels like the title of it was actually put on by an editor who said, this is a completely uninspired story, but if we put this long title on it, then maybe people will look at it.
That's a good description of it. Nobody on the staff is really passionate about making it.
No.
They're just there to get to get it out the door and see if they can sneak some sales out of it.
There's not really too much else to say about it. I kind of just want to go into the ratings, and I already know what everybody's going to give it here, but let's just cut straight to the chase. Hawkeyes, what are you giving it?
That motherfucker's swimming with the fishes. Well, not swimming with the fishes, but you get it. And this fucking cement shoes down in the bottom of the fucking depths with Davy Jones' locker, bro. Shit's trash. Dog shit.
I mentioned earlier a series that we were watching that seemed like had nothing going for it, but this one has nothing going for it at all. Nothing. The premise isn't particularly good. The animation for it isn't great. The art style for it isn't good. There's only like 2 characters with interesting character designs out of like the 10 that were shown initially. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing good about it. It doesn't catch the eye. This is a fucking sink.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing that makes it stand out. The comedy is horrible for a comedy anime. It's like not funny. There's way too many characters. The pacing is abysmal. Utterly forgettable art style, utterly forgettable character designs, utterly forgettable soundtrack. This is a sink. Yeah, this is no good. NG. So bad that it like
I'm sure that they're
go ahead. No. I was just gonna keep shitting on it.
I was just gonna say that I'm sure that there's other series that are running this season that are probably more offensively bad, but this is the most 4 out of 10 anime ever. It's bad. It's not even bad enough to be interesting like X-Arm, where you look at a fucking train wreck. This is more like some kid crashed his skateboard into a car. It's not a fucking train wreck. It's just a fucking accident. Like, why was this made?
It's just a mistake.
This is an average high school basketball player playing a pickup game with Michael Jordan and fucking LeBron James.
No point. Well, that's it for this. Let us know your opinions, but for now, we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.